So I made 6K in a week with my YouTube channel, and 6K is nothing. I mean, it's not anything, even though it isn't a week. But I feel like it's pretty decent start since I have, under 500 subs, and I'm starting to take it more seriously with the posts, right? Starting to post way more and whatnot. So without further ado, I'm going to break down how I actually did this, right? And how I'm going to be scaling it. So the first step in all of this was really just knowing the market on the deep level. And essentially what I do is I help coaches, basically the coach that coaches coaches, right? So I essentially just help people scale their coaching programs, info products, whatever, to actually sell their information to teach people. And there's like three main ways. There's three best ways to actually understand your audience, right? So number one is just research, which is just going onto Reddit forums, going onto TikTok, and just kind of researching what people are talking about. You can do calls. So in this case, I had tons of sales calls just from outreach and etc. So I just kind of use those calls, and also personal experience. So let's say you're teaching drop shipping, you're gonna know how these people feel about drop shipping. You're gonna know the struggles, like whether that's sourcing a product or whatnot, or if you run an online business, it's just stuff that you understand that not the average person would understand. And really, all you're trying to do here is just understand these people's suspicions, fears, desires, beliefs, pains, experiences, etc. Really, what you're trying to understand here is their latent conditions, right? The psychological triggers that make people just feel heard and feel like you resonate with them and understand them. And I have like a full, like, 5-page breakdown of this, of our audience, right? But I'll go ahead and just break it down simply. Like, typically people we work with, it's two types of people: either coaches that are making 2 to 20K a month and need help scaling, or people who make 10K plus a month with their business model and want to actually start coaching people. And we understand like their why, like what's kind of driving them, their goals, their pains, their desires extremely well. And like it really helps us just to be and it really helps us just to be able to sell to these people. And it's what you need to do in any coaching program, is just understanding your audience on a deep level, so you can make offers, content, etc., that speaks to their pains, speaks to their desires, stuff that they actually care about. Which brings us into step number two. This video is going to be a quick one, right? It's only 4 simple steps, but it's a no-brainer offer, right? So it's making them an offer so good that they really just feel stupid saying no to it. Okay. And I love the Alex Hormozi value equation here. I use it all the time because it's just the perfect equation. So I'll go over my offer, right? Which is essentially the dream outcome that these people want to get. If we go ahead and look at the conditions deck here, it's it's that they want to make more money. They want to hit 30 to 50K a month, or if they're just starting out, 10K a month. So that way they can and have a real business where they're not really working a lot. So they want to make a lot of money without a lot of time put into it. That's the dream outcome right here. It's like the goal, it's like the thing that they want to achieve. Then we have the perceived likelihood of achievement here. And really what this is how likely that they think that they'll be able to achieve the goal, right? And essentially how we increase this is using a couple different things like case studies. So in this instance, we've done over $2.5 million for coaches selling their coaching programs, courses, whatever. So we can use that. We have guarantees in place, so that way it feels risk-free because we guarantee that they get the result or this happens, right? And we also have stats. Like on average, coaches that work with us make $52,000 by month too. So all this stuff, like what it really does is whenever I pitch the offers, it makes them feel like, oh yeah, I can definitely get results. I can definitely get the result that they're pitching. Because anyone can say, hey, I'm going to come over here and make you $1 million. But how likely is that to happen? We don't really know, right? And then it's the time delay. So you want these to be extremely high in the sense of like it's going to help them get them to what they want, which is done by knowing your market, right? So the dream outcome, right? We hit that because they want to make more money, do less work, and we hit this because this is really the only way to do it. It's case studies, guarantees, maybe done for you templates. But with the time delay and effort and sacrifice, we want this to be as low as possible. And the reason why is just because think about any product you get. Imagine you instantly get it and you don't have to do any work. So then the time delay here, it was 14 to 28 days typically whenever they actually get everything, is pretty fast. So put it at like a 0.25 out of 1. And then the effort and sacrifice, well, they don't really have to do a lot of work, right? Because 90% of it is done for you. And the best way to articulate this value equation is just by showing you this, right? It's a simple example of a lean body program versus like taking a pill. So the dream outcome is the same, but one of them is way easier and just way faster, right? And we pay for speed, we pay for ease, like because you could technically walk everywhere, but you pay for your car, you pay for Ubers because you want it faster, you want it easier. And as you can see right here, this is why this pill can be worth more than this lean body program, because it takes a while, like it's pretty hard to do it, and it's not likely to happen. Versus all you do is swallow a pill, right? So that's exactly how I crafted my offer to where it's fast, it's easy for them. We do most of the work, and we have the proof to back it up. Makes it a no-brainer for them. So next on the list here is the funnel, and the whole point of the funnel is to turn people that just watch your content into buyers, building trust and buying intent. So here's the exact funnel that I run. It's YouTube. I really only post on YouTube. I'm starting to post on Instagram, messing around with that. But the cool thing about YouTube is that it super nurtures leads because it follows the 7-11 rule, right? Which, if you don't know what that is, essentially it takes around 7 hours of content to really turn a complete stranger into a buyer on average. Some people it's a little bit less, some people it's a little bit more, but on average it's about 7 hours. And from there, right, they just watch my YouTube content, they see me as an authority, they're like, okay, this guy could actually help me out. And then I send them straight to a Calendly to book a call with me, and I have qualifying questions, right? What's your Instagram? How much do you have to invest? Like, that's really it, because it's more business to business. I sell more B2B, right, where it's business owners, because I'm not like teaching people how to do what I do. I'm not teaching like the everyday person to do what I do. So it's way simpler, way easier. If I was selling B2C, I'd probably have some sort of VSL on the front or whatnot, but it's very simple. And the cool thing about this is I don't have to take a lot of calls because I'm busy with other clients and whatnot, but I can get qualified calls that I know are going to close. That's why I had, 50% close rate. Only 4 calls booked since I've been taking it seriously, but nonetheless, right, we're going to get that number up. So yeah, because the main thing you don't want to do here is be booking sales calls with people that don't want your stuff, don't need it, or can't afford it. Because there's the 4 reasons why people don't buy. So these are the reasons that you can't control, is that they just don't want or need your product, or they can't afford it. So this is like trying to sell me a wheelchair. Unless I'm using it for my grandma or something, I'm not gonna need the wheelchair, right? And if they can't afford it, so it's like if you're trying to sell a 10-year-old a car, they're not going to be able to afford that because they're broke, right? And then these are like now you could say there's more than 4 reasons, they're less than 4. This is just how I've articulated it. But the reasons that we kind of can control is that they don't see the value and they don't believe in it. Like they don't believe it can actually help them. So this is like if you're trying to sell like a $3,000 program and people just don't think it's worth $3,000. Well, we can control that by using content, by talking to them, by shifting their beliefs, reframing things to make them see the value, and just the way we pitch our offer. Also, they don't believe it. Well, we can use case studies, guarantees, etc., which is exactly what you do in the perceived likelihood of achievement over here, right? Making them believe that it can actually get them to where they want to go. So we don't want people that are like this. That's kind of why we have qualification, why we have quote unquote friction in funnels, is to avoid unqualified people. Because if they can't afford it, there's nothing we can do. If they don't want or need our service, they're not going to drop multiple thousands of dollars. It's exactly what we're selling here. Multiple thousands of dollars worth of packages. So after we get a qualified call booked in, we want to give them as much information as possible, because a lot of leads that book calls, they're not just going to be over here and sold. So we can articulate this to be the sold category, and we can articulate this to be the uninterested book call. They'll be somewhat over here, right around this area where they're like semi-interested or curious, because a lot of people that book calls are not just going to be purely sold. So what we need to do is we need to give them as much information as possible to take them from this semi-interested or curious into actually sold. Like if they're right here and they stay right here, they're probably not going to buy, right? But what we need to do is just give them information, show them case studies, etc., to make them into the sold category. That's exactly what we do. So essentially, like what we have here is we have a VSL, and essentially what it does, it's not like some B2C VSL. Really all it does here is explain our offer, explain our process, and show social proof. Because if we sell them on our process, they understand it and they're like, okay, that actually makes sense, and they like our offer and makes it seem like a no-brainer, and we have tons of results, that's just going to speed up the learning curve and give them the information that they need. Because what do they really need to know after they understand the process, understand the offer, and seeing that we've done it for other people? Not a lot of information, maybe one or two, you know, frequently asked questions here or there, which is exactly what we have. We answer a bunch of we answer like 6 to 8 FAQs after they book, and we send them emails about that. So we have FAQs and we have wins so that way they can see the social proof, and FAQs so we can just answer more questions. And what we're doing after these people book is we're sending them emails, we're sending them case studies after they book to give them more information, right? So it's just like long form text that essentially just answers frequently asked questions, shows wins, and on top of that, we're texting them here to confirm that they watch these videos and that they get these emails and that they confirm on the email. Because if I'm texting them, right, the reason we have 100% show rate, partly because we only have four calls, but also because I'm texting them, making them confirm their email. Because whenever they confirm the email that they get from Calendly, it's a micro commitment, and I'm also texting them a little bit too. So from there, they watch the video, which is just more of a commitment. They understand our process more, and from there, it's just they understand the information, and it just goes to show like, okay, is this actually a good fit for the person? And if it is, it's an easy close because they want it, right? They truly believe in the product, and that's the exact funnel we run, right? Where they're already nurtured leads, they book qualified calls, and we give them as much information as possible. When they hop on with me, it's typically an easy close unless it's just not a good fit. And then it's scaling, and really all we're trying to do is get more cash. There's 3 ways to scale. It's either more, better, or new. But first, you want to do 10x of more, 10x of better before you go to new. So organically, what the strategy is going to be for me to just book more calls, sell more people, is I'm going to continue to start posting on YouTube. I'm trying out different styles to get more views there, and really just to nurture leads. On top of that, I'm going to start posting some Instagram Reels, just different types of video, kind of seeing what's working so I can use this as top of funnel. It's extremely easy to get views. A trash reel will get 800 views, and it's like, you know what I mean? So it's really good top of funnel compared to like a trash YouTube video will only get like 30, 40, maybe 100 views. So I'm going to start using that Instagram as more top of funnel to get views onto the YouTube, as well as trying a new micro niche style of YouTube, which is just more, right? Posting more content, posting better YouTube videos, more YouTube videos, and posting more Instagram Reels. As far as the metrics go, just trying to get more calls, better close rate, better show rate. Now the show rate's 100% right now, just because we have a very low amount of calls, right? This is not enough data. We need at least like 30 calls to really see the data and try to switch things. But really just trying to increase the AOV, close rate, and show rate is typically what you're going for whenever you're actually trying to scale. So really right now it's just getting more calls, reviewing the metrics, and then fixing those exact metrics. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I made 6K in 1 week with my YouTube. That's how I'm going to scale it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.